I don't know. Does it tell me where when it's live?
It's live.
Oh, there it
No,
is. Oops.
that
Okay.
notification just went out.
Um, we want him as mod. Yeah, I'm new at this one, as you can tell. You know, but I made God's Night. He's supposed to be a mod.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah,
to use a different device if I'm wanting to mod people. I think I don't think you could do that in Streamlabs. Or you already
I
do.
I do it on YouTube
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
because that's the only way I know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we got God's Night here.
What's going on, guys? Night.
Awesome. Hey, God's Night. Yeah. Um, we can't do it in here. We have to do it on. See, we have to do it on YouTube. So that's awesome. Anyhow, hippie. Um, tell me what it was like your lovely summer. I mean, I know you could write a book about what you went through and stuff. You know, I love your shirt.
Thank you. Uh,
So
yeah, yeah. So with the hurricanes,
yes.
yeah. Uh, I'm, so many. I don't know where to start with that. What you want to know?
Well, I know like the first night that it was going down, it was rather nerve wracking. You know.
Right. Yeah, so being down here, it seems like sometimes they'll hype up the hurricanes. I think that was one of the reasons why Katrina was such a disaster, is because the media, it just seems like the Weather Channel looks forward to hurricane season. Like, I don't know. Uh, so I was looking at the predictions about a week prior to the mandatory evacuations. There was another storm coming from east to west, and it was dying out. And then uh, when that actually happened, everything was going like that prediction 2 weeks prior or a week prior, and so it was showing that this hurricane Laura was going to be a tropical storm, maybe a hurricane one, and I truly thought they were just hyping this thing up because it went from like a 1 to a 4. It was just like insane, uh, non-normal patterns for a hurricane. So I wrote it out. I thought everybody was tripping, and I wrote it out. Very fortunate that I was live streaming it on YouTube because I was able to hang out with 80 awesome people. I bet everyone here was there. So my mind was distracted, but it was definitely more than I expected.
We were really, really proud of you because you just you were in your groove. You kept moving, um, and you just went boom, boom, boom like you should, And what upset me was when we had a couple girls come in and yell that they were this and they were this, and I went, hey, we've got to cut this in the butt, and I knew I had to get your attention, and I knew what I said you would understand, God's night would understand. And once I did that, it pulled the rug out from under them, so we were able to calm you down. And by calming you down, we were also able to calm down Miss Tara, which I didn't need her upset. So, yeah, I was glad to be there for you and be able to help you in that way, because that's not what their so called jobs are, if they really were with emergency management or Red Cross or anything like that. They're supposed to keep people calm and relaxed and not panic, you know.
Yeah, you're talking about because I was doing like a call-in show or whatever, open panel thing. She hopped on and said, "You're gonna die. We're all gonna watch you die. This is the first time anyone's attempted to stream a Category 4. Thank you for doing this, so we can see what it's gonna be like. But we're gonna watch you die tonight." And the wife, because the whole family, my mom, I mean, people, all over was watching, and people like y'all who care, these friendships that we've made over this time. And so, yeah, that was a big, so of course the wife's calling me because she's watching the stream and she's like, you got to get out of there. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the ironic thing about the wife wanting me to leave the house, every location that she wanted me to go to either doesn't exist or every tree went into it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was definitely all glory to God on this for real, because even if you're a non-believer, you're gonna have to see that every house is damaged on this street, and I didn't even lose a piece of tin off my shed, so
Yeah,
I was
I
blessed.
knew that. You got real lucky, and I remember the next morning you getting up, going out, going, holy cows, you know. So I was very, very pleased about you being safe. And yeah, a lot of trees went down. And how you went, and you went from being in part of, in the um, hurricane to, all right, we clean this up, and then we got to go help this person. Then we got to go help that person. We got to go see if anybody needs gas and stuff, and so we can help them too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's still a lot of jobs that don't exist. There's still a lot of debris on the side of the road. But uh, the one positive thing I did see from this hurricane is that people came from all over, trailers full of water, especially the first week, before FEMA or the National Guard got set up. It was real beautiful to see humanity come together, because it wasn't about a religion, a race, anything, a Democrat, Republican, whatever. It was about a fellow American wanting to help their brethren, right? And I wish we could start seeing a lot more of that. That's what this country needs. But you know, um, there's no going to work. There's no doing anything. So during the day, you know, there's nothing else to do but be productive and check on one another. Help clear out the roads or what have you.
Right. And I mean, people don't realize, even even though we're modernized, um, it really helps to know the old ways because, you know, you can take and mix them with the new ways because you don't have electricity. Well, that cuts out a lot of your possibilities on ways to do things, you know, and it makes it really hard, But if you keep your cool and you know what you're doing, then you don't miss a beat on the switching from modern to old ways of doing things, and it comes in handy to know, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were having to cook on like a regular, just an open fire. Uh, because I am a prepper, I had like you stake it in, and it's like a metal grid that it's like a can like a anywhere on the go campfire grill. So, but it was just sticks out the yard that because all the electricity was out, like you said. I was fortunate enough to have a small generator, so I blocked off the hall with like a sheet and then put a window unit in, so it wasn't too bad. But it's difficult, it's hard, it is a challenge.
Yeah, I just find it amazing um, to know that when you know the old ways on how to do things, it comes in more handy than what you think nowadays, And you were able to go from modern ways to, okay, phew, I made it through the hurricane. I slept in my hallway with my crosses. Now let's get up and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and dust our panties off and figure out what we can still do modern and what we have to do you know, the old ways, and you made it work,
Mhm.
and I'm so proud of you because you didn't freak out and all that stuff. You kept your cool, and, you had, not like me going, tarps are good. You can make a lean to, you could, you know, keep your wood dry. You can put, tarp over so you had shade. Because like you said, a lot of your trees were gone. You didn't have all that shade that you used to have. And um, I loved it when you was going down to get the MREs. Yeah, a lot of people don't like eating them, but I was like, hippie, go get them as many as you can, as often as you can, you know, because they'll come in handy.
Yeah, I think I was able to get 12 cases of those. I think is what I got. Each case has 16 or something like that in it. So it's pretty
Well,
cool.
when I told you that, I wasn't expecting two more coming up behind in a tropical storm either. You know,
Right.
I was like, holy cows! But I'm so glad that we were able to be there for you and get you through it, and you know, help you figure out, you
Y-
know, and
Yeah.
going through it all.
I don't know if I believed in weather manipulation. I've always heard crazy conspiracies about weather manipulation, even though they declassified Operation Pi Pi. That was the first one on record. But, anyways, when you got all those storms coming the same path, major hurricanes within, 10 miles apart from each other, one can start to wonder.
Yeah, God's Night said Etta is going towards Florida, which is still no bueno. But here's the deal about that. We watched it. God's Night and I did. And I said, God's Night, you look at this map and you tell me what's wrong with it. And I said, is that normal? And he said, no, that's not normal. And um, so I went and I checked it again today. And it went across, I forget where, like Cuba or something. And then it was going to take a hard left right below Florida. And then it was going to take a hard right and come up in the Gulf of Mexico, right? And they said, but it's going to dissipate. And I'm like, what part of this isn't right? You know what I mean? So weather manipulation stuff is real. That's how they do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's Dr. Keith Richardson. And I think that's the one from Harvard. And they're doing it. He gives everything out there. Anyone can look it up.
Right.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. So I mean,
But
it's
you touched on something a minute ago. I forget how many weeks I was without power.
7.
7 weeks I was without power. And first couple. I mean, that's no. I just got internet. I just got internet back. A couple days ago. So
Yesterday.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So my next door neighbor, they ended up moving to Oregon, and about 4 days in, you can see like kind of start getting crazy, like start every little thing is getting on your nerves. You're getting real antsy. It's like you start getting depressed. It's you have to stay positive, and even if you're down and out or whatever, you still have to like show the positivity because it's really starting to affect everybody. you
Oh
know
yeah.
Not having power puts a toll on people, and then no like you can't even watch a YouTube video. There's nothing to do. It's
Well,
it gets you.
when I seen your yard having that transformer right across the street, I knew that you'd have excellent um, connection there because we used to have a house and it had a transformer right in our backyard. And the rest of the area, you didn't have connection with cell phone, except for
Mm,
one spot in the middle of the road. And if you moved, blinked, or anything, you'd lose connection. But the transformer brings in your connection even stronger. That's why when you had perfect connection out in front, I was like, Hippie, stay out in front of in your front yard by that transformer because I ain't kidding you, your picture and everything was perfect. But when you went out the back, it got weaker because you were
Right.
farther away from it.
Huh.
So yeah, that's why. How come I knew that one? You know.
That's cool to know. Yeah, I'll have to remember that for sure. Especially if I find myself having a hard time getting a signal, but I see a transformer, I would stand under that thing.
Well, yeah, you can
Yeah.
because it will bring in the signal. I don't know why, but uh, your transformers and your phone, those towers, that they used to have along the ground that stood up, the green ones for your phone, those also leak out radiation too. So does the transformers, but your cell phones do too. So it might, all linked together. I don't know. I'm
Right.
not into electronical stuff and that,
Right. Right.
but
Yeah, I think it's always good to prepare. You never know what kind of natural disaster, and you never know when it hits. Like these with coronavirus, everything kind of slowed down when that happened. The economy, jobs, whatever. But I'm very thankful over the years. Every time I went to the grocery store, I grabbed like one bag of 1 pound rice, which is 99 cents, or one bag of beans. Like slowly, if you do this every time you go grocery shop, just get an extra thing of toothpaste or deodorant and throw it to the side. Like next
or
thing you know, you're
extra
good.
can of vegetable or extra can of fruit. Yeah, it adds up faster what people think.
hmm And the as long as you keep them, as long as the cans are in good shape, and you keep them in like in the house, pretty much, you can get another 4 to 6 years after the best buy date. It's only when the cans are damaged or rusty that you
Right,
probably shouldn't use it.
right. And not only that, some of them will is even good even after 15 years.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
they're a lot, they've got a lot longer lifespan than what most people think.
Right.
But,
And
the government tells you this time span and that's it because they want you to keep replacing, you know.
mm, mm, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And if it's a do or die scenario, I probably wouldn't mind eating some off corn or something. You know what I mean? If it's me living or dying, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I'll
But
I'll, I'll eat that up.
and I was like, ooh, blueberry cobbler with the cream.
I'm telling you, these MREs, they are not like they used to be. These MREs are awesome. I'm so thankful. I mean, I got, several cases. I'm so thankful for that. My family, we're probably good at least maybe a month and a half, 2 months, so that's good.
Right. And that's why I told you, anytime you can, go get them, you know,
Absolutely.
because you never know when your guys gonna all need them. And there'll be times where the kids in terror won't be able to get out fast enough, You'll have to hunker down together.
Right.
And it cracked me up because the boys wanted to come back before the electricity was on, so they could rough it for, a little while with Dad too. And I'm like, oh boy, you know,
Yeah.
just have them go without electricity when they come home. They'll
Yeah.
find out what it's like.
Yeah, they was all gung ho about okay, because they spent a little over 3.5 weeks at a hotel in Arkansas, and they're checking out the waterfalls, and they're going to like state parks and stuff, having just a great time, and they start driving back home, and I didn't have to I didn't experience this side of the whole experience, but the the wife drive home, she started to see destruction, and then obviously as she got closer to the house, the devastation progressed, huge. Still after 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, and when she got home, it was like a total freak out mode, like there's a lot of emotions that people if you ever in this sort of scenario, uh, aren't expecting, they're probably going to go with, like everyone talking about with the political climate right now, uh, like a civil war, something crazy like this. It's like that also brings no jobs at all. Like you're not going to wake up and go to work. That's
Right.
also going to bring cars, homes, things like that getting repoed because you're not working. Like, there's like a lot of aspects uh, that aren't being considered. And
Plus, you got to keep your guards up for the looters too.
exactly. That was the reason why I didn't even want to leave my home. That's the reason
Right.
why I stayed back because my whole livelihood is here. If my place was to get looted, like I wouldn't be able to make another bill. It
Yeah.
was crucial. I stayed here.
Well, you guys caught that one guy, you
Right.
know,
Right. Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
was right next door. I was like, I
Right.
bet you he don't belong there. He's a looter,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, because he didn't answer your guys' questions. He just boom gone.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's it was like the Wild West, and the more kind of a little further south is a smaller town. It's still part of us, I guess, mate overall, but uh, it's more the country. But it's getting a lot of suburbs popping up. Like people were actually like having shootouts and stuff. Finding people in their garages, shooting them, things like this. Like looting is an issue. Um, taking advantage of having no electricity. People are getting robbed at night. It's a scary scenario. Your
Oh yeah,
generator, you leave to go to the FEMA line to get some MREs and a case of water because there's no stores open, no nothing like this. And maybe you didn't have anything at your house. Maybe you go grocery shopping every other day and you just buy what's necessity for that day. Uh, you come back home, you don't even have a generator anymore. That was going on.
oh yeah. I mean, because the looters they don't care. Okay, they see easy victims, even though the people are down and out. You know, these looters come along and it's like kicking the dog again, an injured dog again. Why? Because they want to. You
Right.
know, and then they'll take the stuff sometimes and they'll go over to somebody that they think don't know you. Hey, I got a generator here. You want to buy it?
Everybody needs one. You sell it for $100. Is like that first person you ask, and then unfortunately there are just very evil people in this world who prey on or look at this as an advantage for a come up, and they'll travel here to take advantage. Oh, I do construction, give me half up front, whatever,
And
because
they'll rip them off too that way.
yeah, you don't want to wait on your insurance. You got money, a little money saved up, so you're just gonna get your roof fixed or the whole patched or whatever, right now and get reimbursed with the insurance later. But some guy out of town just screws you over and runs. It's sad.
Oh yeah, they have that happen up here when the tornadoes go through all the time. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't understand why people attack people like that for no reason. You know, and another thing I noticed is all the tarps that you put on the roofs didn't come off at all.
No, you know, I was able to learn how to do my. I'm third generation tile guy, so I worked with my grandpa, my dad, my uncle, older cousins, and things like this. And you always have to work like the homeowners right there behind you, and you only want to do it one time, right? Why you want to go back, redo, or take off what you done to do it right. So do things right the first time. And you want to get like a 2x2 slat or 2x4, cut them in half, whatever, roll them over, and yeah, drill them in, make it nice and tight. No, those tarps are actually still on those roofs, just waiting on roofers. Things are not back to normal at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, but at least that stops the roofs from or the homes getting damaged more on the inside.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely,
and
yeah.
you were going around and making sure that other people had gas and stuff and helping them out. And I was like, oh man, that's so lovely, you know. And like the one that young people that you met at the gas or yeah at the gas station whose car was broke down, you know, and you went and helped them get gas for that car because they were buying it or whatever, you know. I mean, it
Right.
was awesome, you know. So
Yeah, the gas thing, the guy is taking care of his mom with Alzheimer's, and with basically everyone being out of town, he normally had people that would stop by where he could go to work and make sure the mom's okay and things like this. And with him, not being able to leave the house, yeah, we brought him several gallon, a couple times with the 5 gallon and stuff like this. And I, I think one time, I think only once. Uh, yeah, at first he didn't even have any cans. We dropped him off some cans. It's all about helping out your neighbors, man. You can't be selfish in a time like this, and because I don't know you know you just feel for people. You don't have time to really worry about yourself. You just want to help others.
right, and I mean, that's why they always say a community comes together, and it's true when things are bad like that. People that are still around you, you help each other out, you know, because nobody has anything. You're all on the same playing field, so you help each other out.
Right.
And it's amazing how that always works, you know. But with things going on the way they are, um, all heck could break loose yet, and there'll be chaos. But after the chaos, it'll stop, and then that'll be when people start helping out each other, because everybody will be broke, you
Mm,
know,
mm.
and yeah, they'll start helping each other then, you know.
Well, maybe that would be the time that everyone discovers the true enemy, because the true enemy is not each other. It's not your fellow neighbor who's also an American just like you.
Right,
So the community is the best thing, and right now is the time to network. You know Networking, so when something goes down, you got at least a heads up on an idea of what you can do. Every scenario is different, but just try to prepare for anything.
right. You've gotta. I mean, because a SHT could be a personal situation, and not everybody else be hit by it, you know. And so you want to be prepared, like you said, for any kind of a SHT, you know,
Right.
be it a hurricane, be it Dr. Bill's, or loss of a job, or a tornado, or a blizzard, snowstorm, or whatever. You want to be ready for any type of SHT, you know.
Absolutely.
Even, I hate to say this, but this is a SHT situation too, and it does affect families. Might not affect your family, but it, there are situations where it affects a family. Is a loss, a sudden loss of a loved one. You know,
Right.
um,
Absolutely.
those are SHTs. Trust me. You know, and I don't never want to see anybody dance that dance, but it happens. It's part of life. You know, so all we can do is love each other, help each other. You know, and if you like, if the barter system's still around, people don't realize it. But the thing with barter system is, if you do good trades, then you're fine. You're good. People go, hey, we know we can trust Hippie's word on this trade, and he's a good guy, or we can trust God's night on word on it. On this, he's a good guy, or whatever, whoever. But if you do a bad trade, and it won't take long, and nobody's going to want to do a barter trade with you. You know, and with barter, you don't exchange money. You don't have
Right.
to have money. They have, you have something they want. you find some, or they find something that you want. If they can't do it, they find somebody else that can, and y'all make a trade, and it's a good deal because everybody ends up getting what they want out of it. You know?
Yeah, for a couple of days, I was bartering with my labor and getting paid at the gas station with Red Bull, cigarettes, and whatever. So that was cool. But yeah, that trade and barter system, that's how we, try to use that a lot more in life. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, and another thing is the government don't like it because no money changes hands. There's no taxes, no nothing. You know. So yeah, I just um, kind of, you know all the little of these things here and there, um, and it all comes in handy. You know, it's what we used to call in rendezvous, good trades. You know, but you don't want to give up. And when things get bad and you don't have electricity or any of that, it takes time. You know, you start out, you're slow, but as time goes on, you get faster and faster. You know,
Yeah, I mean, you're going through it, so you might as well make it the best you can. Just for the morale purposes. But there's no reason to kind of sit around and pout about it, or whatever. Just pick yourself up and dust your shoulder off, or whatever, however the saying goes. Just
pull
keep
yourself up by the bootstraps and dust your derriere off.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep your chin up. Everything's gonna it always works out. It
Well,
always works out.
I have special needs children, and so in order for them not to freak out, because any little change can set them off, but in order to get them to not freak out, I work with them and I teach them, how to do things the old ways by hand, you know, and they just call it the old ways, but they love it. They think it's cool, and then when something happens, they don't freak out. We just go, okay, we can't do it this way. We just change our course and keep on functioning, you know. And it does take a little longer when you start out doing stuff. It takes a little longer, but as you do it, the more you do it, the faster you get at it too. And there are a lot of old ways that you can use in your modern life, even if you do have all the electricity and stuff, you know.
Yeah, one of my things that everyone should know, I think, is with pine knot. So you find yourself even in like a little, not woods, but like off in the interstate, it's kind of just like a field of overgrown trees and stuff. You don't really call them the woods. They could be the woods, whatever. Um, if you're walking and you see like a pine tree over, and you kind of like just kick it around, whatever's not dry rot, and you smell it and it's got that rich smell of turpentine, that is better than like fire starter, like liquid fire starter. That it's those kind of things that's going to be survival, that you do survive or don't survive. I knew after the hurricane I had to get a fire lit, and I pretty much had to keep it lit, like you were talking about. We ended up putting the tarp over the fire pit, and that way we could cook when we needed to, and it was ready. And then we ended up putting a tarp over all the wood, that way it stayed dry and it would burn. It's you know
Yeah,
you got it. I don't know, it was fun.
it comes in handy.
Yeah, I've always been like a prepper, I've always been like a survivalist. I got all kinds of gadgets. I was excited more than anything. I was able to, I don't know. It was uh, a speed bump in the road, obviously, of life, but overall, you know, I'd do it again.
Miss Tara said Hippie is in his element.
So
He's
she,
gonna be fine. Oh yeah, she said that in that situation where you had no electricity, you were in your groove. You don't miss a beat. You know what to do and everything. She was very proud of you. Just like
yeah, yeah.
just like the other day when you was in that hot dog suit. And I told her, I says, Miss Tara, only you could say this and it be in a loving, full heart love way. And she said, I am married to that hot dog and I love it. You know, I mean, I love it. I love you guys because you have such a wonderful love, and you can tell that your house is built on love, you know, and trust and faith and everything. And that's good. That's what it's supposed to be, you know. And it's like, um, it was like a week or a few days after the hurricane, and the little producer director, he wanted to know why he couldn't go home to Daddy. He wanted to go home. Dang it, he had it. He wanted to go home now. Dad's got lights in the house. I see him. He's got lights. I want to go home. And I'm like, okay. And Tara's like, type in here, and I'll tell him. And I'm like, oh man, that's too much typing. So I directed the show to him and was talking to him personally, telling him, and God's night was helping me. We were explaining it to him so he understood, and then he was okay, you know. But yeah, I couldn't type all of that down on the wise, you know. But we made it so he was okay, then he understood, you know. And I love it. I mean, I love little kids. I want them, even though I put my show is not for little children, I do that because I don't want somebody's little one making chocolate candies and stuff without mom and dad's permission, or when mom and dad's not home and something happens to them, you know. But
Right,
my shows, little kids can watch my shows, you know. We
right.
keep we keep it legit, we keep it safe and everything. So
Yeah,
it's all
no, he's so cool, and it just blows my mind. He's never received vax or whatever, and so like everything he wants to know what it is, and he'll say, "What's that?" And it doesn't matter like what you say. The first time he says it, it's like he's been saying it. It's that dude is so smart. I remember that he wanted to come home.
oh
That
yeah,
dude's awesome. Yeah,
he did. He's like, I see lights. Dad's got lights. I want to go home now, you know. And Tara's like, oh, you can't, honey. You can't do it yet. So I had
yeah,
to explain it to him, you know. And God's night, because we couldn't type it. There was just too much that we had to say and we couldn't type it. So that's why we were like, we're going to talk to him, you
right.
know. And I knew how to explain it to him so he could understand, you know. But yeah, that's why I was like, when the boys come home, Hippie, have it so no electricity the first night they can figure, get a taste of it.
Oh, yeah,
You
we ended up doing that. I ended up hitting the breakers, and we all stayed in the living room. The only thing I did keep on was the AC, just because I didn't want to. I still didn't put the AC back in the window unit or whatever. Um, so I, at first they kind of threw a fit. Prior to coming home, they were all excited, gung ho about it. They get home and AC's on, and they're throwing a fit. Oh, I don't want to do this. Not really a fit, but just opposing it. And
know, right?
then we all sat down and had MREs. We all picked out our own MRE, and we traded all the little side stuff that comes with it. And we was having a great time, and they ended up enjoying it. It just goes to show you, like, life is kind of like what you make it. And when you're handed uh, the bad end of the stick, you want to make sure that you still make the best of it.
Right. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade,
That's it.
you know?
That's it.
I mean, and you stay positive because if you say think positive about things, you'll make it. If you think down things, oh, this is hard, I can't do it, takes too much time and yet it then you're not gonna. Why? Because you gave up before you even gave it a chance,
That's right.
you know? And if you don't know how to do something, ask somebody. They'll show you. They'll explain it to you. And if they don't, they're just a jerk, you know? I mean, that's why I like doing things like I do on my channel because I'm like, here is some information. If you want it, fine. If you don't want it, that's fine too. I understand. We can put it out there, but we can't make that horse when we lead him to water drink. You
That's
know.
exactly right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I know it's winter time, and I know down south it still gets hot. So I have to figure out. Um, I'll have to make some donuts. You know what kind I'm talking about. And I'll have to weigh them, and then I'll have to figure out how to do dry ice with them so that they can go from up here in the freezing cold down to down south where in the steaming hot this winter. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe around Thanksgiving, more first week of December, it should be, 50s, maybe 60s, something like that. So might just have to wait a little bit longer, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I'll have to figure it all out so that I can do it. It'll take me some time, but hey, I'll get them to you before spring anyhow.
No worries.
You know, because they're the raisins ones definitely healthy. The chocolate cherry ones definitely healthy. The peanut butter ones healthy. The marshmallow ones sugar,
Yummy,
and the
yummy.
chocolate's healthy for you.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, and
Have you
they're not that hard to make. But boy, are they heavy! Like the raisins ones and the
right?
chocolate cherries. Those puppies are heavy. You know, but yeah, they're good.
The other day, when I went to an estate sale on the way to work, and I picked up a couple of Hallmark ornaments. That's the only thing that's on my Christmas tree. My mom started like every year since I was a child, getting me a Hallmark ornament. And then so over the years, I typically will go after Christmas, and they're like 75% off, 90% off. So like $20, $30, you can get maybe 10, 12 Hallmark ornaments. So I have like hundreds, right? Anyways, I picked up 2 packs of these Christmas cards, and they're really be like pretty done, like metallic, I believe, like shiny with glitter, silver glitter and stuff. And it says "Merry Christmas," but the 3 balls makes the American flag, and it's waving. So
Oh wow!
everybody that I have an address for or ever sent me something, I'm gonna everyone's getting a Christmas card this year.
Well, I still have something else I know that I can make you.
Oh, that leather thing.
No,
Oh,
no, no, no,
oh,
no,
oh,
no,
oh,
no,
oh,
no,
oh,
no.
oh.
Not a leather thing,
Okay.
um, but something that you could put in your hall.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be
Um,
amazing.
and I will do one for Miss Tara too because she likes her tie dye, and I got some things that I could slide for tie dye, but and that way you each have one. You know.
That sounds
So
awesome.
yeah, I gotta take the time. I gotta slow down one of these days and take time. It don't take me long to do them. You know, and they don't cost anything to send in the mail.
Right.
But yeah, mailing letters and that. Holy cows! There's no reason even for like jeans and shoes and that stuff. There's no reason for it to be so high. You know.
Yeah. We mailed a shirt off yesterday, I believe, Friday, and it was a 3XT. Uh, the shirt was like literally as big as me, but it was a little. It was like $8.18 or something like that to mail that T-shirt. I mean, I know but when she started making shirts, it was like $5. Now it's like almost seven. It's definitely going up. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and the stamps are over 50 cents now. It's like 55 or
Hmm.
57, something like that. It's crazy. And yet
Hmm.
they complain because nobody writes letters or anything. Well, if the stamps weren't that high, I would love to write letters. I used to
Mm.
write letters and send cards and stuff. Can't afford to do that anymore, you
Mm.
know. But that's because they make it so doggone costly.
Well, I think Amazon subsidized to where the taxpayer, the UPS, the post office takes off like half or more than half of what it would normally cost for them to ship. And it's like, the dude's the richest man in the world. I'm sure he could just pay for shipping, you know. Maybe that would cause our stamps to, instead of be like almost 60, maybe 40 or something. It's
Yeah, well,
crazy.
I I've got stamps that were from like 1 centers,
Right, right.
half centers, 2 cents, you know, but you can't use them anymore because one, they're really old stamps and they've been used, and two, good luck finding them. Um,
Yeah, now they're selling forever stamps. So I guess
yeah,
if
no matter what the price goes up to, they're still forever.
right. So what do? Go drop a thousand. Go drop a couple bands on some stamps. Wait about 30 years, and then resell them for market price or something.
Well, yeah, that's just it. I mean, I don't understand all of this stuff because I know back in the day things didn't cost this much, but there's no reason for it to be this high either.
Mm,
You know,
mm, right.
it's all greed. It's
You
all it is.
know when their marketing is put into like the NFL and all this stuff, they're just spending so much of the profit. Just cut back some of that. Cut back the excessive bonuses or whatever, and make it more reasonable. I know it's hard. That's why it's good to know the old ways, right? That way you can maybe harvest when it's seasoned for blueberries or wild berry dewberries, whatever.
Right?
You know.
You gotta watch what's ripe in your area, and when it's ripe, you go pick it and use it. You know, you can make jelly and jams and pies and whatever with this stuff. You know, but you've gotta keep an eye open because what's in season down where you're at might not be in season up here. It might be wintertime up here, you know, when whatever it is. Because there's things that can grow down there that can't grow up here and stuff too, you know.
I
But
think one thing that I with having chickens, and the garden didn't do well at all this year, but doing these things, I think the bees, that is one of the most easiest things I've ever gotten into. It sounds really overwhelming, but just like the pollen drop off. I mean, there's 5 different byproducts. Honey is could be medicine. It could be a sweetener. It's amazing what honey is. It never goes bad. That's one hobby I would strongly suggest anybody to go into.
then you
Uh,
got beeswax. You can make candles, and you can use beeswax for waterproofing. You can use beeswax for your thread. You know, you can use it for your needles, so your needles slide through the fabric easier and stuff. You know, I mean, it's just yeah. There's all kinds of things that honey and the byproducts of
mhm,
can work great for. You
mhm,
know, I just have to watch it when it comes to bees because what you call very allergic to the bee sting.
mhm.
You know, I'm great with honey. I'm great with beeswax, but yeah, the little stingers and I don't see eye to eye.
I think we've 3 years now. I've been a beekeeper, and at first I didn't have a suit, and I went into the hive my very first time, and I did get like ate up by him. But other than that, one kid walked on one. I think they even knew it was there. I think they were like barefoot and tried to step on it because like the little flowers in the grass or whatever. And that's the only incident. We'll leave sodas out back and stuff like that. But yeah, if some people are highly allergic, and if I was highly allergic, I definitely wouldn't be watching any bees right now. That's for sure. Imagine getting stung and having to go to the hospital.
Well, I stepped on a bee one time and the red line started going up my leg. So I walked to the hospital and the doctor he says you take Benadryl because a lot of the medicine I'm allergic I don't work really good with it. He says, but take some Benadryl and you get your butt to the hospital ASAP. I was like, oh, okay, great. So I have to go out when I go outside, especially here. The college kids, they have a tendency of throwing beer bottles or whatever glass in their yard and stuff. But I always have to wear shoes when I go outside, just so I don't step on bees. You know.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's some people are allergic, have a real strong reaction, and I'm thankful I'm not one of those. Like poison ivy, all that stuff, it doesn't really affect me.
My husband and I, we used to chuckle because people, it's like insulation. Some people are really allergic to that stuff.
Hmm.
And my husband and I, we could lay down in it, roll around in it, work with our bare hands. Never bothered us.
Oh wow,
You know?
yeah, yeah, insulation. Yeah, that does eat me up a little bit. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's nasty stuff.
It is.
But I just, I'm doing what I can, and that's why I was like, okay, hippie, we gotta keep you going. We gotta keep you, And I was thinking ahead of the situation too, trying to help you in that way. Even though I'm way up here and you're way down there. But I was determined we were gonna make it work. You know.
Yeah, a big factor of everything is just the mental state, trying to stay positive, because once something starts getting at you, then all of a sudden something else is going to start getting at you, and then you're going to be overwhelmed, and you might sense like you're not going to come out of it or whatever, it's, trust me, it's hard to, say I'm not saying it's easy, but you know, try to be positive, because a lot
Oh
of people
yeah.
depend on you, you know.
And another thing you can do is relax. Instead of panicking and stiffening up, just relax. It sounds crazy, but the more relaxed you are, and you don't have to fake it, the better off you are. You
Right.
know, because when you relax, things will go a lot smoother. But if you're all stiff and rigid because you're panicked to death, then nothing's gonna go right. And so that's why you got when things get bad, you gotta just keep your calm. And if somebody wants to get a knee jerk reaction out of you, don't give it to them. You know,
Right.
I mean, it's. I know you understand what I'm saying, but a lot of other people, they're gonna be going, "Are they crazy?"
No, it's like
It
it's
moves
like
that way.
it's like what I was talking about earlier. After about 3 4 days, when people start getting stir crazy because you can't just go get a onion for the grocery store, you want to go get a pack of cigarettes, but there's that store's not even there anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or it got looted. So j- every little thing starts getting at you, and then so when you start snapping off at like your camp or whatever, your base or whatever you want to call it.
Or even your
uh,
children.
yeah,
You know.
you just can't let that get to you, because next thing you know, you're just at it, and that's nothing positive or productive is going to come from that state of mind.
Right. Well, it's even like when um it don't have to be a SHT, but when you're in the summertime and it gets really really hot outside, you know, you move a lot slower, and the heat's got the best of you, and you start snapping at everybody, which normally you wouldn't. Yeah, it's that kind of like that, So you just gotta cool down and say, hey, it's okay that I'm not moving as fast because it's hard for me to move in this heat, and just mellow out a little because that'll get you farther on what you're trying to do. And it's just like when a serious situation pops up in SHT for you in whatever form it is, hits. If you just keep your cool, it'll work a lot easier for you.
Absolutely.
And I love it when children go, well, I did it because I was trying to be helpful, and that's okay. You're learning. And that's, I When we moved in here, we had to flip the one dresser upside down. And my grandson, he says to me, he goes, Grandma, he says, I'm learning. We're learning. We haven't done this before. We're learning. And I was like, honey, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at me because I didn't think it all the way through yet. And I said, so we're just going to leave it. We'll come back and we'll deal with it tomorrow. And the next day we came back, flipped that puppy upside down. We had no problems getting it upstairs.
Right,
You know?
right.
So it's okay if something's not going right. It's okay to walk away and then go back to it later on. You know, when you calm down.
Yeah, because you might find yourself thinking about how to do it, a different way. Yeah, it's all if you feel defeated, like you said, just take a breath, step aside, and just go back to it. It'll be there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if it's because you're having problems getting your fire going, because you didn't cover it with a tarp, or because you can't find the matches, or you can't find your flint and steel, or you can't find your magnesium stick, you know, it's okay. Calm down. Just relax. You'll find it. You'll get your fire going. You know,
Absolutely.
if you need to, take a stick, and then you get another stick, and you tie a string around that stick, and you loop the string before you tie it to the other side. Loop it around that center string or center stick, and then take a rock and put it on in your hand, in the base of your hand. You guys can think I'm crazy, but you use that stick with the string on it, and you make friction, and you let that center stick rotate. You'll start your fire. All you need is a bird's nest, and you will start a fire. It'll take you a little longer, but if you once you get going at it, you get really good at it. You won't need matches at all. Just two sticks and a little string.
Yeah, I had got my machete, and I had previously had starter pine, and so I was just shaving little pieces of my starter pine. So it was just like liquid matches, I'm so thankful about starter pine. It's some good stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's easy to find. Anytime you see a tree down, a pine tree down, just kind of kick it, and the hard knots, the hard
yeah,
spots, that's where your starter pine. And I'm telling you, a little flick from your magnesium rod, it'll light that joker up like one strike. You
oh
can't
yeah,
put it out. It like lights in water. It's amazing.
yeah. Even a flint and steel would light real fast.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
Always look for starter pine.
it's like I do homeschooling with my kids, and I have them watch these documentaries for history, and then they have to write a report. They don't like writing the report. However, they'll be talking about something, and I'll go, "Oh yeah, here," you know, and I'll say, "Okay, stop the video. Stop the documentary, and look at this. They were talking about this, and here I am with the actual thing that they were talking about in my hand, you know, so they can relate to it and understand it better, you know."
Yeah, no, we're trying the
But
homeschooling for the first time, but you could definitely see a big difference with the wife. Instead of going back to work, she's working from home now, and so she's able to, our baby's just, you could definitely tell the difference from the homeschooling. I think you're doing great. That's for sure.
well, they're learning the truth on things, you know, um, and they know what's going on. I don't hide anything of what's going on with them, you know. And believe it or not, they don't agree with what's going on either. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think that many people do.
yeah, not like they're trying to say, you know.
Right.
So, um, it's just amazing stuff. And another thing is, um, believe it or not, your gas grills, you got your little butane can hooked up to your gas grill. Well, that's going to run out, when SHT hits. Those run out, and if you don't have backups of the yin yang, which if you store them, the gas leaks out of those things. People don't get that part either, but the gas does leak out of them. And Then you've got a gas grill that, how do you use it? That's easy. I don't care what kind of gas grill it is. Take the grates out, put aluminum foil down in there. Okay, unless they've got the burners, take and put aluminum foil down in it. Get some sticks, get some starter, like kindling and little sticks, and start your fire. And then you can put your little bigger sticks in there. But you don't want a big log because grills won't cook big logs. I'm sorry. You need a portable fire pit or a fire pit, or dig a hole in the ground and cook that way. Trust me, it works. No, I've done it, you know. And you can actually do baking in your grill with wood, you know. And if you look at the dial of it, there is a dial on your gas grills that tells you the temperature. Well, that dial is your temperature, right? Well, if you look at an old wood stove, they used to have thermometers on the doors too to tell you how hot your oven was, so you could bake in it. So yeah,
Yeah, I know with the Dutch oven, it all depends on how many coals you set on top. Every coal is so many degrees. I thought that was pretty cool when we learned that.
yeah. I've never. I mean, I've cooked in a Dutch oven, but I've never put the charcoal or the coals on top of it
Hmm.
because I'm too klutzy. And I proved to a friend of mine that writes um, pamphlets. He used to write pamphlets on um, cooking in a Dutch oven, and he told me, he says, "I've got to see this." And I went and I baked a cake, and it had pudding on the bottom of it, and then I took the German pecan frosting and put it on top, and it was really good. And he couldn't believe that it turned out because he'd never seen anybody not put the charcoal or the coals on top.
Yeah, I think that's when you're baking. I think that's when you want to put it on top. That's what we were doing with it. But I think you can also like do a roast too, stuff like this, I believe. But I think majority when you want to like kind of bake it or warm it up, that's how you would do it.
Some people, some buckskinners would take their Dutch oven and put aluminum foil in it, and then they'd put whatever they were baking inside of that.
Mm.
Yeah, they still put their charcoals on top and underneath of it. But the reason they put the aluminum foil in was because when it was done, all you had to do is take the aluminum foil out. Your pan was still clean.
Hey, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
You know, so it's amazing. There's nothing that you can't do. And back with the pioneers were, and even the pilgrims, they would take and cook their biscuits in a pan and put the pan on the fire. They didn't have a quote unquote oven. Some of them had those Adobe type ovens. I don't know what they're called, but over in like uh, Norway and Germany and all of those places, they still have them, and they use them inside the houses. The Mexicans, they use them outside, but yeah, they used to have them right in their houses and knock the coals on the floor because their floors weren't wood; they were clay floors, so they couldn't burn the place down or anything. But you had to watch where you were walking because you could start your shoe on fire.
Mm.
You know? So yeah, um, it's just amazing. It's like we were talking about wash machines, you know, and your modern wash machine ain't gonna work. So you're gonna have to figure out a different way of washing your clothes. And what a lot of people don't realize is back in the day when they would make soap, they didn't put soap in the wash machine, or and yeah, well, they had barrels that they would crank and do and wash the clothes that way, or they take the clothes down to the creek. They pre-soak them and stuff. But when they put soap on, they would only put the soap on the area. Like if you had a spot, they would put the soap there. If you had dirty cuffs, they would put the soap on the dirty cuffs. They didn't put soap on all the clothes, and they would just spot clean them. And believe it or not, that's how you're supposed to be doing your laundry. Um, and it you don't use as much soap that way. And they would take them down and wash them in the creek too, and then beat them with a paddle. And that beating them with a paddle on the rocks and benches that some of them made and had in their cricks, that's your agitator, like the agitator in your washing machine that goes around, you know, and it beat the dirt right out of them. And then they take and hang them, lay them out on the fields, in the grass, and that's how they dried them and let the sun bleach them back out because they didn't have the clotheslines yet. And then when they had the clotheslines, they'd leave them out on the line all day so the sun could bleach them and kill the germs and stuff in your clothes, you know?
Yeah, I remember you, telling me about these washers, and so I kind of brought it up, and it's funny. Um, I don't think we needed them a few weeks ago, but now I think we might need them because we, with this new tie dye stuff that the wife got, you got like this soda ash that you want to pre-soak, and then you got this other chemical that you run it through. That way, it kind of makes the dyes more vibrant and activates it. So I
Yeah,
think now we're gonna get one because we can have the hose just drain off the excess soda ash water and this other chemical, so it would stretch a lot longer because when you're just soaking white t-shirts, you can, or t-shirt, brand new t-shirts, you can reuse it.
right. Well, depends on, how many she's doing in that color of tie dye too. Depends on if you could do, the stainless steel one, which is going to cost you a lot of money. But once you buy it, you don't have to buy it again, you know, or the little plastic one. The little plastic one, I don't know, the tie dye might go into the plastic, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
But, um, I don't know what your money is, and
Yeah,
that's not my business, you know what I'm saying?
right.
But,
How much
I
are the stainless ones?
those were um, hold on, I'll see if I can find it for you quick. Um, let's see if this is the right one I'm thinking. Oh, it is. Um, dang it. Let me see here. Oh, come on. I know you've got them. Sure, this time it's pulling that stunt like it did that one time I went to find it for you.
No worries. My cousin just walked out, and he's like, ever since the hurricane, it seems like, yeah, I sit outside and I just hear all these cars clacking. Like the amount of nails, the tire shops, everyone's catching nails in their tires. That was random, but he just came out and I guess ranted about that for a second.
Well, tell cousin Hippie it's okay. If he's in a happy mood, we're not going to stand him on his head today.
And see, that's the thing. It's like you think you could just go get a tire, but you can't because it's not. it's not there. Maybe put some tire plugs in your bug out kit or something. That's something that maybe I wouldn't have thought of before, but since I went through this, I'm gonna make sure I have next time.
Right,
You always gotta just kind of learn from the experience and incorporate what you learned. But
right.
everybody knows that. It's weird how sometimes my avatar doesn't work.
That's okay. I'm still determined to find your thing that I found
I
it for
mean,
you that one time.
yeah, you don't have to give me an exact price. Do you kind of remember how much they were?
No,
Like
that's
the
why I'm looking
ballpark?
for it.
Because if the plastic one's 100, but the stainless is 200, then to me it only makes sense. Because if the plastic's gonna break, and then you're gonna have to buy another one, you might as well just buy it once.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because they do wear out after a while. Oh, bloody balloons. Don't tell me that one. I know better.
All right.
No, that's not the one I wanted either. Boy, this thing's being a pain. Ah, I'll have to find it for you again. Because, yeah, this thing's just been a pain in the derriere. Oh, sure, I got that one. Cremonesses. I know I'm close. Aha, $899.
Yeah, that might be just a little.
Yeah, but once you bought it, you would have it.
Yeah, it's something for us to save up for.
Right,
That's for sure.
that's why I said, because trust me, I have to save up for it too, honey.
Sure.
You know,
Right.
because you get one that size, then you can do your blankets, your bedding.
Oh,
With
see,
the little one, you
she
can't.
found some white sheets on clearance at Walmart, and she scooped them up, and she's about to do some tie-dyed sheets, so that's gonna be pretty cool. But
Right.
she's got some new colors. Let me go. I'll show you these couple of new shirts. She just opened them up today. They are sexy. I
Ooh.
love this one right here. Let's see this is a good one.
Oh yeah.
That light's not too good, but it's like super bright. I like it. It's
Yeah.
turquoise and pink, and then man, these red beans and rice I cooked smell so good. They're delicious. And where's that other one at? Let's see, where's that other one at, babe? The other red, white, and blue one. Is it this one folded up? Yeah, it's still a little wet. So that's the one red, white, and blue right here, and then uh, it's kind of the same, but I don't know.
Those are still cool though.
Yeah, the dye is this dye is amazing. I like that pink one though. That pink and turquoise. It's a cool like spring shimmer shirt. Well, anytime shirt, but you know, it's a fun shirt.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, I love I love seeing her work. It's amazing.
I can't wait to see the sheets. The sheets are gonna be cool. And then I want to get a hoodie, like an all white hoodie, and get her to do me a hoodie. That would be fun.
Oh yeah. By the time she gets done, there ain't gonna be nothing she can't tie dye.
That's it. Next thing you know, she'll be learning how to do like guitars and all that, like all the designs and stuff. I think she knows how to do a peace sign. That might be cool on a sheet like that.
We need to get her a T-shirt that says "I'm not the black sheep of the family. the one in tie dye."
What's that?
I said we need to get her a T-shirt or a sweatshirt that says "I'm not the black sheep of the family. the one in tie dye."
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And I mean it in a complimentary way, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'd get a kick out of that one because the one little sheep on it, he's got a tie dye heart on him.
Right. Yeah, yeah. He's got a couple of little shirts. They're too cute. Like, yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
love color. It's not plain. I think it's rad. That's for sure.
Well, that's what life is, though. Life is color. You know.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just cracks me up how when you go to a house and everything matches and everything this and everything. And like, really, I don't live in a world like that. I have to have color. You know.
Yeah, I like bizarre. Bizarre, funky. That's all good stuff.
Yeah. It's just amazing. Anyhow, hippie, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about with your eventful time this last summer?
Uh, just remember what matters most, and that's uh obviously God and your community, your family, and right now's the time to network because we don't know what the future holds. And don't forget, when you go to the grocery store, just pick up an extra can of fruit or rice, bean, whatever, and next thing you know, you're gonna have a lot. It sounds overwhelming, to like start preparing or prepping, being a prepper or whatever you want to call it, but it's all baby steps. 10 years later, 20 years later, uh, you're over prepared, and now you can move to the next thing in life, which might be protection, or whatever. That's kind of part of being prepared. But just never stop, guys. You don't know what the future holds. Just always, because you're gonna realize a lot more people than you realize right now depend on you. It's always good to be prepared.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but it was fun. Thank you for
Yeah.
being
Hey,
patient, waiting on the internet.
hey, honey, I told you I am a very patient person.
Sure.
You know, I I used to look at the people and go, why are they always after Hippie over their shirts? You know, he's got a life, his wife's got a life, she's still with children, and just chill out. They'll get it to you when they get it to you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's why all the way through this, you never heard me ask you anything about my shirt.
Yeah, because we had to clip images off the internet. But yeah, it was, like that just got all back online, so everything is ready to start rocking out. That's for sure.
Yeah, but the reason I didn't um, ask or anything like that was because it wouldn't have done any good. You were busy. You were trying to get your house and your yard and your area taken care of and everything back in order. And so me hounding, that would have just been a stupid problem adding on to what you were dealing with, which would have been a total waste of everybody's time, you know? So I'm
Right.
like, I'll get it when I'm supposed to get it. I ain't gonna worry about it, you know?
Yeah,
Y-
no. Yeah, we originally thought we had yours done, but come to find out it was the youth, and so. But I'm glad that happened because now we got the bright, more vibrant colors. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be
And
exciting.
George Mitchell, a friend of mine from down in Arizona, he said to tell Hippie, he said, hi, please. So there, George, I told him,
Thank you,
you know.
George. Hello.
Um, but yeah, I like doing these kind of things. It gives us a place where we can talk and we don't have to talk about the other stuff that's going on. You
Right.
know, it's an escape place. And gee, you know what? We done a heck of a lot of cussing on here tonight, I tell you.
Hey, I think I slipped once.
No, you didn't. You did not slip at all. You done very. I told you you could do it.
I know, but I try. Sometimes I get carried away, but I do try.
Well, it's just human.
Sure.
And the best part is, we still love you. You know, and we love Miss Tara and the little director and the two older brothers and cousin Hippie when he's not in a grumpy mood. But if he's in a grumpy mood, we still love him. We just flip him on his head.
That's it. Hanging by his
Yeah.
toes.
So thank you very much for being on with me. And
Absolutely.
do me a favor, go have a wonderful night with Tara, the boys, and the little guy. And, you know, well,
She went out last night. A friend from her, I think it's Tennessee or Kentucky or something like this. She's in, so she went out and hung out at the little bar, club, whatever it is. Another lady that worked with her for some years recently got married. It was her and her husband, the friend from out of town, and her husband. So it was a good. They had a good time,
that's
But yeah,
cool.
I think we're gonna watch a movie and whatnot. So. I don't know.
Well, and you got your rice to eat
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You want to see how a Kunash cooks some red beans and rice? I'll show you real quick. Oh, if we had smell-o-vision, like on the Willy Wonka show, how they wanted to have smell-o-vision, um, man, that would be amazing. Cause this is scrumdiddlyumptious. Oh, there's not much left. I better get me another bowl. It'd be like bowl 4 or 5. I'm telling you.
That's
Yeah.
okay. It means that's good food.
We made it yesterday. Yesterday was the first day. I just heat up the leftovers, but Now the lighting is horrible. Flip it over this way. But
Ooh, that looks good.
it is delicious. I had got a 3 pound honey cured ham, and it was already sliced, so I cut it up in the other direction and just made little bitty squares with it. But
Yep.
it's delicious. Yeah, yeah. I think cousin hippies must have tore it up. 'Cause, that's good though. That's good. You know,
Right?
it's good stuff.
So yeah, I mean, it looks delicious.
But thank you for having me on, JT, and hi to everybody. If you've never seen me before, come check the channel out. It's on YouTube. Hippies4Trump, all one word with the number four. Call in show every Tuesday and Thursday. Everyone's welcome.
We will talk with everybody in a little while.
Hey, you want to see something I got while I was at Brandon's house?
Sure.
It was $20.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
purple cross stained glass. Uh,
Yeah, that's
it,
gorgeous.
yeah, I love stained glass. Let's see if we can. I thought maybe we can get the light to shine a little better in it, but
We can see it that it's purple.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I found this one too. That's like stained glass and cameo jewelry is uh that's my weak spot. The art skills to go like in antique cameo before they had these printers is just absolutely stunning. That they carved coral and stuff. But this little bitty Lucky Charm, this was $10. I thought that was cool.
Oh, wow, that is pretty. God's
Yeah.
Night says, okay, we'll ask Hippie to check later since he's has the net back. Ooh.
What's that?
God's Night said that. He said, um, okay, we'll help. We'll ask Hippie. Would you guys quit doing that to me? Okay, we'll ask Hippie to check later since he has the net back. It happens quite often when someone um talking to somebody else. I don't know what, but yeah, cool. I like your art stuff and stained glass. I love stained
I
glass.
love stained glass. Yeah, stained glass is just gorgeous.
When
But
we lived,
anytime I can get it, I scoop it up.
when we were young kids, some friends of mine, they were repainting the Catholic church next door to us, and it was funny because everybody was telling my one friend, be careful with the ladder, be careful with the ladder. Don't want, we don't want to break the stained glass windows in the church. So be careful, dang it, be careful with that ladder, right? And all of a sudden, we heard a crash. I looked down and I went, oh. And his brother was up on the steeple and he heard it. He went, tell me it wasn't him. And I said,
Right.
Judd, I can't lie. I cannot lie to you, Judd. And he went, he's lucky I'm up here on this steeple right at the moment and I can't get down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he put the ladder right through the window. It was and yeah. So we always gave him a hard time after that about Polly's not allowed to have the ladders no more. Nobody else knew what the heck it was, but Polly would turn beet red in the face.
Sure. I would too if I ruined something like that. Ay ay ay.
Yeah, they got fixed though. It was okay. But yeah. So I know what you mean about stained glass windows. I love it.
They're beautiful. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. So we will talk again soon, my friend.
Alrighty.
And tell Miss Tara and the kids and everybody that we love them. And you take care and have some family time. Okay,
Absolutely.
talk
Y'all
with
have a
you
good
soon.
night.
You
Okay.
too. Bye.
Bye.